Okay, so now we proceed with our last module for cybercrime. Then we'll proceed to environmental laws next week. Okay, so digital investigative analysis or DIA. Yeah. So digital investigative analysis is the evolution of what was previously referred to as computer forensic. So basically same lang sila. Binago lang yung term ngayon dahil mas appropriate na itong digital investigative analysis. So it is important for prosecutors to appreciate the three aspects of the profession that caused this evolution. First is the term digital. So digital investigative analysts no longer limit their analysis to standard computer systems. Today, analysts examine everything digital, including desktop computers, laptops, mobile devices, cell phones, tablets, GPS navigation devices, vehicle computer system, because many brand new vehicles now are meron ng computer systems. Yung ibang mga bagong sasakyan, meron na ring installed na GPS system. Okay. Internet of Things or IoT devices and much more. We are in the infancy of the digital age. But developers of many products, from shoes and sports bras to light bulbs and doorbells, are already incorporating technology into their products to collect, store, and transmit information about the user that they can analyze and hopefully monetize. Minsan may nabasa ako na I think jacket ata na masusukat niya kung gaano nakadaming calories ang na-burn mo, gaano ka nakatagal nag-exercise. Basically, para siyang smart jacket or smart clothing na lang para mas general. Kasi ngayon, meron ng smartwatches, di ba? So, yun. Many inventors are looking for ways to incorporate uh, to have things digitized. Kaya nga pati damit, pati relo, lahat na lang gagawing digital. So that's one. And then we have the term investigative. So while technology progresses at lightning speed, the legal system and those who uphold our laws are just appreciate the need for analysts to conduct deeper investigative analysis on digital devices to obtain a better understanding of issues being investigated. Each year, we are generating or replicating 8 zettabytes of information. That is equivalent to a stack of paper 1.6 trillion miles high. Take note, miles. 1.6 trillion miles high daw yon. Yung ganun kadaming data kung ipiprint natin siya sa papel. To manage the high volume of data that needs to be analyzed, some organizations have employed a raw data extraction process to digital evidence. This non-analytical approach blindly identifies types of files such as pictures, documents, spreadsheets in the storage media. Pag sinabi nating media, ito yung medium, ito yung gamit kung saan ini-store ang mga bagay-bagay such as, yun nga, documents, pictures, spreadsheets. Without further analysis to determine if the user opened the file or even knew the file was there. Okay, this raw data extraction process allows an organization to quickly process a large volume of data and may be an excellent first step in the simplest cases. Okay, so that's the term investigative. Literally, nag-iimbestiga ka even as a prosecutor or as you future law enforcement officers. Hopefully, no? And then we have the term, yung raw data extraction. Pag sinabing raw, hindi pa siya na-alter in any way, hindi pa siya napakialaman, hindi siya na-edit, hindi siya na-cut, na-crop, walang binawas na kahit ano, basta literal na raw, hilaw. Okay? However, does little to satisfy many of the offense elements necessary to establish guilt. Yun lang ang problem kapag raw data kasi hindi mo mapatutunayan na ang isang tao ay ginawa niya talaga ang isang specific cybercrime. In contrast, DIA requires analysts to investigate or even interrogate digital devices. Kaya kailangan i-process mo pa. Parang information, di ba? Information to intelligence. Pag may nakuha kang kaalaman, yun nga, information ang term natin. But then, kapag na-verify na ito, kapag na-evaluate na ito, na-assess, lahat-lahat na nagawa dun sa information na yun, it becomes intelligence na ginagamit during police operations. Ganun din sa digital devices. So, they have to, say, process that data in order for it to produce yung facts of the case. Okay. Analysts ask questions in the form of keyword searches. Alam niyo naman siguro yung pag-search sa computer, di ba? Just click search, then i-type mo kung ano yung gusto mong hanapin. And review digital artifacts to form additional questions or logical investigative leads based on the answers received. So even when the response to questions is silence, hindi siya sasagot. Pero parang gano'n na nga. Ang ibig lang sabihin ng silence dito, wala kang nakuhang information or wala kang nakuhang recorded information for that matter. An analyst may ask, why is there no response or recorded information? Was counter forensics conducted? Is there something unique about the digital device being investigated that the technique or tool cannot read or display the information? Kasi, pag sinabing counter forensics, in forensics kasi, you are expecting to get some form of information. Kapag ginamitan na ng counter forensics, ine-expect na nung gumawa nun na makukuha mo ang information. So, ang ginawa niya, naglagay siya ng either false information or inunahan ka na niya, dinilit niya na lahat. Kaya wala ka nang makitang information. And then the last term in DIA is analysis. Lastly, an analyst must, of course, analyze the response to each question and determine its relevance to other digital artifacts, as well as how it relates to information available from the non-digital investigation. An excellent example of this was used in the Physical Computer and Fourth Amendment by Acting Principal Deputy Chief CCI-PS Josh Goldfoot, where he explained that in isolation, the fact that a suspect downloaded tide tables for a particular beach in Oregon at 5 a.m. might mean nothing. So wala namang, basta bumili lang siya. Nag-download lang siya ng tide tables. But then, Josh Goldfoot, the Physical Computer and the Fourth Amendment, wait lang. When combined with the fact that a young woman's body was discovered in the surf on that beach an hour and a half later, however, the significance of the tide tables became apparent. So, yung pagbili lang mismo nung lamesa, wala siyang deeper meaning. Pero hindi naman sinasabing hindi totoo yun. Totoo yun na may binili siya. But then, nung malaman na nga na merong crime, then nagkakaroon kayo ng deeper understanding doon sa mga pangyayari at that time. Katulad nga nung nahanap na yung bangkay. Okay. So that means, in digital investigative analysis, hindi ka lang talaga magbabase sa digital evidence. You have to correlate it with actual physical evidence or other types of evidence, maybe testimonial evidence or kung ano man. Okay. So, incident response and encryption. For years, law enforcement has debated the value of imaging random access memory or yung RAM when they encounter a powered-on computer with an active user account logged in. RAM is the place in a computing device where the operating system, applications, and data in use are kept so they can be quickly reached by the device's processor. RAM is much faster than other kinds of storage. Data remains in the RAM as long as the computer is running. Hindi siya ganon kadaling i-delete yung mga nandoon na documents or files. So when the computer is turned off, RAM information in RAM rapidly dissipates and is lost. In 2016, the majority of law enforcement more often elected to pull the power plug from the computer rather than image RAM. Many agents still prefer not to acquire RAM because they believe that RAM is unlikely to contain relevant evidence. Kasi nga nakastore lahat doon ng data, so medyo mahihirapan kayo dahil andun lahat, i-check mo yun isa-isa. Kaya they think it's unlikely to contain relevant evidence and kung matalino talaga ang kriminal at alam niyang gagawin mo yan, na i-check mo o kukunin mo yung RAM, then he knows that you are just wasting your time and he would be able to gain the time he needs in order to escape. So sometimes, agents base this belief on the specific nature of the investigation or the latency of the crime under investigation. Today, however, the most appropriate practice is to image RAM where practicable. First, an aggressive defense counsel may argue that RAM might have contained exculpatory evidence and its intentional destruction amounts to a knowing Brady violation. Baka daw, kung ang isang matalinong defense counsel, pwede niyang sabihin na, dyan sa RAM na yan, merong exculpatory evidence para sa aking kliyente, pero hindi nila kinip ng maayos. Ayun. Second, today, there is increased possibility that the hard drive of the computer to be searched will be encrypted. So when we say encrypted, you cannot gain access to it easily. So may mga passwords and other forms of encryptions. That possibility is becoming more likely each day. Then we have 4 basic incident response steps. With the increased likelihood of encountering encryption, prosecutors and agents should familiarize themselves with the 4 basic recommended steps for responding to a computer that is powered on with a user logged in. First, isolate and preserve the state of the computer as it is when law enforcement first encounter it. So basically, same lang sa kahit anong crime scene investigation. Kung paano mong dinatnan ng crime scene, kailangan ma-preserve mo ito kung ano yung itsura niya. Kaya nga mahalaga yung pagkokordon, di ba? Kumbaga, ito ang isa sa mga steps para ma-maintain ang integrity ng isang crime scene from destruction, from contamination. Ayan. Do a visual assessment to determine if anything requires immediate action. So parang sa crime scene lang din, di ba? Titignan mo kung may biktima. At kung may biktima, unahin mo yon. Hayaan mo yung iba kasi mas mahalaga yung buhay. Ganun din kapag kumukuha ka ng computer or digital evidence. Tignan mo. Do a visual assessment. As in, literal lang, tignan mo lang talaga. Kung may kailangan ba ng immediate action. For example, consider disconnecting the system from the network. Kapag sinabi kasing network, di ba? It's, sabihin na natin, it's a set of computers na iisa lang ang kumbaga nasa isang network nga lang sila. And what you should do is disconnect it from the network. Kumbaga, hindi na siya magiging parte ng network na yon. For if the responder detects excessive hard drive activity suggesting the drive is being wiped, ibig sabihin, kapag tingin niya na yung drive ay gumagana pa, dapat consider terminating the wiping program if possible. Alisin mo daw yung wiping program na yun or yung program na nagdi-delete ng mga files mo. Or removing power from the computer to prevent further damage. Hugutin mo na. Second, preserve volatile data by imaging RAM. There are many simple ways this can be accomplished, but all require the introduction of incident response software. So, kailangan meron kang ganung klaseng software, incident response software. Incident response software is typically introduced to the target computer by inserting external storage media such as a USB drive. Some incident responders have expressed concern that introducing anything to the target computer changes evidence and may render the computer inadmissible. While that is always a theoretical risk, the risk is quite small and it is usually a greater risk not to image RAM. Kumbaga, it's a risk worth taking kasi hindi naman ganun kalaki ang damage kung sakaling magkaka-damage man. As an initial matter, the changes to the computer caused by imaging RAM are minimal, contained, and usually identifiable. These changes are especially de minimis when one recognizes that any computer powered on is always in a fluid state of motion and changes are taking place regardless of what actions are taken by the examiner. Thus, the risk created by imaging RAM is quite minimal. The incident responder can further minimize the risk by using a sanitized storage device. Pag sinabing sanitized storage device, malinis. Walang virus, wala lahat. Malinis nga. To introduce the incident response software and by carefully documenting any actions that they take on a live computer system for later reference. The risk created by not imaging RAM is often much more significant. Kaya nga mahalaga na i-image mo ang RAM. The average computer sold between 2015 and 2016 came with at least 6 gigabytes of RAM. Ganyan na yung mga capacity ng RAM during that time. 6 gigabytes of text roughly equals a stack of paper 6,000 feet high. An aggressive defense counsel may argue that by removing power from the computer without preserving RAM, your agent just destroyed the equivalent to a 6,000-foot stack of information. Sabi pa, most of which was surely exculpatory. Third, once RAM has been preserved, check for signs of encryption. The two most common encryption detection tools are Encrypted Disk Detector, EDD, by Magnet Forensics, or Crypt Hunter by the Software Engineering Institute of Carnegie Mellon University. When executed, both tools will report the presence of a number of different volume and disk-based encryption programs. So basically, ang ginagawa lang nito, after your RAM has been preserved, tinitignan kung meron bang encryption yung data. Encrypted ba siya? Okay. Finally, create a forensic image. If there are no indications of encryption, so malinis, and RAM has been successfully imaged, power should be removed from the system to abruptly stop all operations. Removing power prevents any maintenance or counter forensic programs from running and causing changes to the system during the standard shutdown process. A write block, preferably a hardware write block, should be applied to the hard drive before any further actions are taken to prevent the imaging process from writing any information to the drive being imaged. Pag sinabing writing, somehow parang being saved, sinesave doon sa device mo. Or otherwise, changing the data being investigated. Ayun, may nilalagay na siyang mga maling impormasyon. Before beginning the process of creating a full forensic image, consider creating a triage image. Analysts can typically image at 60 to 80 gigabyte per hour. A complete copy or full physical image of a 1 terabyte drive would typically take between 12 to 16 hours. Ganun katagal. Actually, mag-backup nga lang ng files, oras talaga ang binibilang eh. Tapos kahit na hindi pa ganun kabigat yung mga files na meron ka. Paano pa kapag ganyan, di ba? 60 to 80 gig. Okay. In contrast, a triage image uses a more surgical approach to create a smaller partial image of high-value digital artifacts that can reveal key information. For example, a triage image may alert investigators to online accounts that need to be immediately preserved or actions because online accounts ang daling i-delete, ang daling alisin, 'di ba? Kaya as an investigator, you have to move fast. Lalo na this is digital, so hindi nila kailangan na physically at one place para lang magawa yung pagdi-delete. But they can be anywhere, kahit na umiihi sila o anong ginagawa nila, ay pwede nilang i-delete yung mga online accounts. So they have to be immediately preserved. And then, or actions recently taken on the computer that may aid in taking immediate investigative actions. Analysis of the high-value digital artifacts can then be conducted while the more time-consuming full forensic image takes place. If encryption is detected or suspected because of step 3, incident responders should consider creating a live logical image of the computer before removing power. Several tools can image RAM and create images of a live system. One of the most popular is FTK Imager by Access Data, which can image RAM, create both live logical or physical images, and accomplish many additional incident response tasks. While a live logical image is not the preferred method of copying a hard drive, it allows investigators to capture all the active files in an unencrypted state. So, makukuha mo lahat ng files. Pictures, documents, spreadsheets, lahat makukuha mo. So that if the encryption cannot be circumvented, at least the active files are available for the investigation. You might never know those active files. Ibig sabihin, hindi sila encrypted. As in, i-click mo lang, magkaka-access ka na sa kanya. Yon, active files yon. Malay mo, di ba? Doon pala may magagamit kang information in order to prove that a certain person has committed a crime or prove that that person did not commit the crime. Okay. Sabi dito, there is no such thing as a full forensic analysis. As the digital age matures, the number of devices collecting and storing information and the volume of digital evidence to be examined in any investigation are becoming a significant challenge. Habang nag-i-improve ang technology, gumagaling din ang mga kriminal. At sana, gumagaling din ang ating mga investigador. Okay. So over the past 15 years, the maximum capacity of a single storage device has doubled every 12 to 18 months, as the maximum capacity of individual devices has dramatically increased. Dati, di ba, alala ko, yung mga luma kong cellphone, ano ba yung cellphone ko dati? My very first cellphone was a Nokia 5110. Grade 5 ako. Doon ako unang nagka-cellphone. Tapos may limit lang siya dahil nga, alam niyo naman ang message, di ba? Maliit lang siya. Maliit lang yung space niya. And then, kapag umabot ka na at a certain number, siguro 100 messages lang, kailangan mo na mag-delete. Hindi tulad ngayon, ang dami-dami mong pictures. Yung isang posting mo, 10, naka-burst ka pa. Tapos, yung naka-burst ka na, ang laki pa ng, dahil sa sobrang dami ng filter na pinaglalagay mo, bumigat yung file. Kumbaga, malaki talaga yung storage ngayon as compared to devices before. Okay. The substantial volume of data has had a considerable impact on investigative agencies and their efforts to keep up with the tsunami of digital evidence to be analyzed. Kaya mas mahirap ngayon dahil ang liit lang na file. Tapos ang dami. Isa-isahin mo yun. It would take a lot of time for investigators to investigate it one by one. One major change to the digital investigative analysis profession is that there is no longer such a thing as a full forensic analysis dahil sa sobrang dami ng data. For years now, the most sophisticated analysts have applied a phased approach to digital analysis. The phased approach consists of a variant of at least three phases. We have triage, identification, and deep analysis. Okay. Partially because of the increased storage capacity of individual devices, and secondarily because the investigative value of information tends to decrease with time. The timing of the triage phase is often critical. The earlier triage can be conducted, the more potential value the information may have, because habang tumatagal na nag-check ka ng mga data, mas nababawasan ang value ng mga tinitingnan mo. Kasi nahuhuli ka na eh. Kaya mahalaga na maaga kang makapag-set ng triage mo. Okay. Whether it is used to confront a suspect in hopes to obtain a confession or to identify other critical time-sensitive evidence that needs to be preserved. Another change occurring in the digital investigative analysis profession is the shift from analysis being conducted by a single examiner to a team approach. Dati, isa lang ang nag-e-examine ng digital evidence. But now, grupo-grupo na talaga sila. Kasi nga, sa sobrang dami ng data na dapat mong ma-check isa-isa. Hindi mo kakayanin kung ikaw lang mag-isa. In addition to a phased approach, the SANS Institute Digital Forensic and Incident Response Program have conducted extensive research over the past 6 years, constructing teams of 3, 4, and 5 analysts. The teams were given a forensic image and approximately 6 hours to identify and analyze digital artifacts and present their findings. A 4-person team was found to be the optimal size to efficiently conduct a collaborative analysis of digital evidence. So yun ha, 4-person team ang best or is the optimal size para makapagsagawa ka ng efficient digital evidence analysis. Focusing on high-value digital artifacts, also called compass points, analysts can quickly reconstruct events that occurred.